Hello guys, and welcome to day 2 of my 12 days of Christmas, where this year I am looking at whiskey aged beer. Hope you all had a good Christmas and not feeling too worse for the wear after maybe overindulging yesterday. I always find Boxing Day here in the UK is one of two things, isn't it? You either up and out early, or as I've done today, just laid in bed, done nothing really. Finally wormed out of bed and decided, I should probably crack open a beer and record my next day. But for day 2, I sound a bit nasally, unfortunately. Feel like I've got something coming on. But I do have a duo of beers for today from Holy Goat. So I have the Goat Witch, and alongside that, I have its sibling, the Goat Fire. These two are Flanders Red sours, I think they're listed as. So the Goat Witch is 7.1% and the Goat Fire is 6.9%. And I'll be honest and say, I don't really know if there's much difference between them. They seem very similar. So I said they're both like Flanders Red ales. So we're talking sours here. It says 80% blend of young stock with 20% matured stock, which has been the one that's been in the whiskey. So only 20% of this has been barrel aged, and it's aged in Glen Moray whiskey casks. So as I say, all very similar in how it is, apart from the ABV and the name. The difference is obviously what it comes down to of the berries that you use. So the the Goat Fire here is strawberries, cherries, and almonds, and then the Goat Witch is Scottish Tayberries, which I'll be honest, I had to look up. I wasn't sure what that was, but it's a hybrid of raspberries and blackberries. I can quickly get one open and I can talk a bit maybe about Glen Moray as I do that. So I'm going to go for the lower ABV first, the 6.9%, which is the cherries, strawberries, and almonds. Let's get this open. Not sure how too active it will be. So I had that down on the table. So nice bottle, 375 ml. They do have some really good artwork design. I don't know how easy that is to see on the camera because it's very much going for the berries, sort of dark red colours on it. Let's pour this out. Okay, bit of carbonation kicking up on that there. So yeah, I think I was just going to talk about Glen Moray quickly. I think I've talked about them as a distillery before. I've gone and visited them. They are a Speyside distillery based in Elgin. It was established in 1897, but it's changed hands a few times, and now it's sitting with the French company. I think they're French. Obviously, it's got to be French. I think it's French or Spanish. Le Martinique, something. I can't pronounce that exactly. They do release a lot of wine and port-aged whiskies, though the base barrel is just your typical ex-bourbon oak, which is what I'm expecting in here. Holy Goat themselves, they're Dundee-based. They produce sours and very strong ones at times. They also do certainly stouts, and they barrel age quite a lot of their beers, both the sours and the MPs. They've only been open since 2020, but I've had, I think, a few of their beers before, but it's mainly been on the MPs and stouts rather than on the sours. But yeah, this one, as I said, was the strawberries, cherries, and almonds. Sorry if I still don't sound with it. I feel like I've got like a bunged up head slightly. Overindulged probably yesterday. Let's get our nose on this. Oh, the cherries are immediately coming through on the nose there. I can smell it's going to be very tart, but the cherries and the almonds, it's smelling like a cherry bakewell, and I'm not sure if that's what they're trying to go for. So cherry and almond on there. That's very inviting. That smells beautiful. Not sure if the oak or whiskey barrel is going to have much of an impact, especially as I say, 20% of it is being aged in the barrel and the other 80% is young stock that's blended with it. Let's get a sip. Okay, as expected, carbonation's there. Quite a big hit with it. Tartness coming through. And that sort of sour tartness just hanging around the tongue after. But I'll say the cherry flavour was very quick coming over. It rolled over very quickly there. Didn't hang around too much. More on the nose than the taste, but that's the first taste, so I'm not just going to base it on that. Let's go for a second. Yeah, more of the tart cherry flavour here. I'm really not picking up anything on the strawberry. I feel that cherries there are definitely the main overlay. It's taking over control. Nose-wise, that's where the sort of almonds are blending well with the cherries. But I'll be honest and say that I'm not really getting anything from the barrel coming off these. These have been out of the fridge for a little bit to let them warm up, so you can see there's condensation on them. So they're not exactly chilled down to, you know, 0, so there's no temperature. I mean, no taste. Next, let's try the Goat Witch. So this is the higher ABV, and this is Tayberries, which I said is the blackberry strawberry blend. So I am expecting a slightly darker color, even though they look very similar in bottle. It's because they're green bottles. It's hard to tell. Let's pour this one out. I will say that they do look very similar in color. So hold them both up to the light. This is a slight, yeah, potentially more red to it, a red hue. Again, looks quite carbonated. It does have a lot of carbonation, I feel. Strawberries. Yeah, strawberries is definitely coming through on this for me. It just smells of strawberries. I know this is the Tayberry, which is the strawberry blackberry sort of blend, but hybrid, sorry, but it is just a strawberry nose. Actually, a lot of carbonation on that. The head is just building. Let's go in for a taste. Okay, so straight off, the carbonation wasn't as powerful actually as the first one. So the Goat Witch had slightly lower levels of carbonation, even though it looked like it was kicking up more on the glass. And I've put them both in similar glasses. So this one was less carbonated, less tart as well in the flavour. It's quite smooth, and it is just a nice soft strawberry flavour coming through. As with most sours, it has that sort of, it leaves that taste around the mouth. It's sort of creating that chlorine, clingy flavour that leaves like saliva hanging around. I would say, for me, the strawberry, or I should say Tayberry. So the Goat Witch Tayberries one tastes better and is more enjoyable, but the nose of the Goat Fire, which is the cherries and almond one, is amazing. I said that is just, it's just dessert. It smells like dessert. I'm just hoping the carbonation dies down a bit as I drink through the bottle, so that it's not as carbonated, and so I can enjoy the full flavors a bit better. I think I've got to obviously cover the question here. Yes, they're whiskey aged, but only 20%. Has that added anything that I've managed to pick up? I would say I haven't really picked up anything that I would say is from an oak cask coming into the flavour, as it's only a fifth of the bottle, or the mix, I should say. I don't think it lends anything to it, but if it's part of their overall process, and they seem to do this for a lot of theirs, then obviously they believe it imparts certain flavours. I'm not there to question that. I'm just going from the side of whiskey aged beers. Am I getting some of that whiskey in there? With these Flanders Reds, I'm going to say I'm not, but I'm going to say that I do like the Tayberries, taste good, but absolutely love the nose of my cherries and almond one. That was a double hitter day 2. I hope you are going to enjoy today. Obviously, it's a bank holiday, so don't go too crazy because we've got a weekend ahead as well to carry on drinking. But I'll see you on day 3. Take care, everyone. Bye.